Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to another episode of an honestly very hard challenge. In the last episode, Nickole the Bone Keeper declared a war upon the other half of our tribe. Comet and his family, who always seemed to be stealing her army away. Who always seemed to be getting in her way in one way or another too, pretty much ever since they landed here on this island. Comet and his family have just been distracting her time and time again from her main mission, so she's finally had enough of it. She's finally going to put it to an end once and for all. She will have to wait a little while longer though. She can't exactly go charging off into the darkness when she has a little baby to watch after. Pernille was just born the other day, far away from the safety of the healing fruits of course, and that did have Nickole quite concerned. She was afraid that she was going to lose this baby too, but Pernille is alive. She's just a little bit weaker than her big sister is. So it seems quite likely that Pernille's story is going to be governed by envy. I would imagine she's always going to be a little bit jealous of Alara just because she has one extra point in strength. That being said, this is something that I want to touch on a little bit in this episode too. I don't think that Nickole is going to shun her baby for being less strong. In a way, it kind of mirrors Nickole's life. So if she were the type to just send Pernille packing all because she didn't have that extra point of strength, that would make her no better than her father. At least in her eyes. Her father never truly trusted her. Her father never saw the raw potential that she felt in herself. So she wants this baby to know that she has potential too. In fact, because she connects to her a little bit more, she might even push her harder. So we'll have to see how she develops as she grows. And poor Stone in the meantime. I mean, we could probably bring you up here to watch after the baby, and aside from that, we'll have to make sure that you breed again with Nickole too. She only has 9 days remaining on her lifespan. You know, I'm not sure if that's even going to be enough time for her to truly declare war upon this tribe over here. To truly come over here and show them that she means business. Gosh, can you imagine though, her sending her entire scorpion army in, with their poison and everything? They are going to make for some very formidable foes. But this is all stuff that you could probably lend, all information that you could give to Comet as the days pass. That would certainly be a good way to get on his good side too. Well, I can't imagine that Comet would ever send this creature packing, especially because Jericho is so dedicated to proving that he's trustworthy. It still must be noted that Mars has a connection to the Bone Keeper. There might just be a quiet little inkling in the back of his mind. The start of an idea that what if Mars is actually here to spy on them? What if this is some infiltration planned by Nickole herself? I'm sure that nobody over here would put that past her. Celestite in particular knows exactly how scheming she can be. So I would imagine that our elders are going to be keeping a very close eye on him, but for now we'll let him pass through. I mean, he's probably very shaken too. It's probably not hard to see how earnest he's being right now. One of you even had an idea for Jericho? Since his stripes kind of look like they could almost be scars. I wonder if Nickole actually did lash out at these two. Maybe she did leave a few deep marks on Jericho as he pushed Mars away. And Mars would probably be heartbroken to know that Jericho felt her wrath. So let's just find a quiet place for Jericho to rest for now. He could probably do with a little bit of food anyways. I'm sure you are absolutely starving, aren't you? Jericho with his endless stomach. Maybe we could bring him over to the oak tree? He actually has a brand new baby brother to meet too, so this would be a good chance for them to all get to know each other. Not to mention, Jericho and Mars could pick up those acorns, since they both have the nimble fingers. So let's have you both settle down beneath the shade of the tree. Or at least as close as we can possibly get you. I guess that's going to be right around the stump for now. You know, I can't actually remember, but I think Sheba might know Mars too. I vaguely remember Mars just joining the tribe as she was about to escape, because Stone was actually staying here to train him, so I'd have to go back and check for sure, but I'm pretty sure that she would at least recognize him. I mean, granted, she probably saw him when he was very, very little, so he's grown up a lot since. But it makes me wonder, like maybe Mars could share a little bit of information about Stone with her, just to let her know that he's okay. It's something that she still wonders after all, especially since that victory song has long since faded. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen many Berryinas either. Like, I hate to say that because I'm probably going to end up jinxing it, but the Berryinas have been very, very quiet since we first landed. We haven't even seen a single new killer Berryina spawn, and they're supposed to be a staple of the Deadly Hills. I guess they're staying away because they can see all of these claws. You actually have quite a bit of strength on your side, Comet. So even though you're so close to passing away, you know that your tribe is going to be left in very capable hands. Now, as Nickole and Stone are the only ones with turns over here, I think we're going to move them at the end of the day, just so we can be sure that none of the BBs are going to be swept away by the bluebird, who seems to have gotten himself stuck in this oak tree over here. Well, that's kind of the direction you want to go in, isn't it, Acadian? I wonder if this is actually the bluebird's home. It's almost as if the bluebird is trying to hunt you down too, so you better be careful. Do you have any idea where your Berryina friend is? It looks like he might be a little bit too far away, but I do see that you have some more bunnies out here. I believe you were actually clearing out a pathway behind you. So if you could do that again, hopefully that'll make it easier for your Berryina to come back to you. I don't want you to leave the grasses though, because if the bluebird is trying to hunt you down, then you better stay hidden. It's almost like the bluebird is a direct embodiment of the death that's supposedly on his heels. Maybe to him this is just another sign that Morganite was right. And speaking of Morganite, where is she right now? Way over here with Awkward? And I think Aqua might be the only creature over here who has another turn. It looks like the Crabbit has stayed with us too. The Crabbit who is very, very curious about Awkward, in fact. Probably because he can sense the Bandit Brothers tampering with him, huh? Well, Aqua, this would be a good chance for you to swipe the Crabbit down, but I don't know if you want to get the sea angry with you. She's actually searching for the Clown Koi still, so it might not be the brightest idea to take out a denizen of the sea. That should be all that we can do over there, though, so now it's just time for us to move Stone and Nickole. It almost looks like the bluebird may have noticed your babies. Like he is swooping dangerously far away from Acadian right now. Well, either way, I'm sure he's not going to be able to get over to you in these 6 turns you have between you, so I suppose we could have Nickole jump over here. That way, maybe she can lead Stone closer to her. I think you're probably ready to leave Alara over here by herself. She should be growing her next gem on the next turn anyways, so she won't be alone for very long. She is quite the handful, though, Stone, isn't she? The only thing that could possibly bring you away from your daughter right now is that terrible, terrible cry that you heard coming from Nickole. You're probably terrified that she's gotten herself into some real danger out here. That maybe a Berryina has gone to her. Or worse, maybe a Berryina got to your new baby. He hasn't actually met the little one yet, but he's going to be quite surprised to see her. These two look like they could actually be identical twins. So that's the end of our first turn here. Should we maybe go back to Acadian? Just to make sure that he's going to be okay, and just to see if maybe the Berryina is going to come out to the clearing. Any sign of your friendly Berryina yet? Oh no, has he gotten lost? He is probably just still going after bunnies. Oh, and speaking of which, it looks like Comet's family's going to have a nice big lunch. No other dangers though, right? Nothing else for us to pay attention to first? And no leeches in the water? I mean, so far so good, but there's so much darkness here, it's kind of hard to tell. We'll just leave you right there for now, just in case. It's probably better that Adi takes the leech rather than somebody like Morganite. So who's going to go after the bunny over here? Mars, why don't you actually show off your strength? Oh, that slow movement speed of his is always getting in the way. You know, maybe he's actually not cut out for war and hunting. Maybe he would prefer to just stay beneath one of these oak trees. And then I suppose Jericho could be the one going after the bunnies instead. He's a little bit faster, and he certainly doesn't mind the action. So this would be a good opportunity for Sheba to scoot on over here, grab an extra acorn, and make some room for Mars. He might not be good at chasing bunnies, but he can at least use his ram horns to knock down a few more acorns for them both. Even a few acorns for you little clownfish. Unfortunately, you can't grab them right now, but I'm sure that both Sheba and Mars would be willing to crack one open for you instead. How many more days does he have until he grows? He's only 4 days old now, so he's really just halfway through his childhood. Plenty more time for you to get into trouble, I guess. We'll leave you right there on top of the stump for now, though. Oh, and we should probably check and make sure that Alara has her second gem, too. Gotta make sure that she is actually safe. 2 silver gems, and she feels like she's on the top of the world. Now she doesn't have to follow in the shadow of her father anymore. She can actually go off searching for bunnies herself. And I think I may have heard a pesky bunny stealing from you guys? It might not have been over here, though. It looks like the shores are pretty quiet. Oh, it was probably this bunny back here. Well, you know what, Acadian? If you could go ahead and swipe out at this bunny, maybe that would help lure the friendly bear Yena back to you. Granted, there's also the potential that it could lure something much more dangerous out from hiding, too. So why don't we go ahead and start carving the pathway in front of you, too? Just to make sure that you'll have an easy way to escape, as you still continue to rest inside this nest. It's too bad that he gave up following you. He must have just gotten lost. He seemed so dedicated to keeping up with you before. Oh, and do I see a bunny after all? Oh, Alara, but you're just too tired. You can jump over here, trying desperately to pin it down. But of course it's going to wriggle free. Well, maybe you can keep track of it for the next turn. I'm sure that your father would be very proud of you if you managed to bring one back. It all depends if her reckless nature gets the best of her first. And for now, Stone, we're gonna bring you straight over here. Well, looks like you'll have plenty of roots to dig up for your baby. Offer up a nice little gift to her. And of course, we're going to make sure that we breed you again with Nickole too. One more baby for the Bone Keeper, so her army will be nice and strong. And now, of course, she can tell Stone about Mars's betrayal too. I feel like that's probably going to sting Stone more than anybody else in this tribe. I mean, Nickole is pretty upset, of course, but Stone was the one who trained him. Stone felt a deeper connection to Mars than anybody else. In a way, he probably feels like it's his fault that Mars felt like he needed to leave. I wonder if Stone might even take it upon himself to try to track him down first. Maybe he thinks this is all some sort of strange misunderstanding. Like, surely Mars loved it here. What could have possibly convinced him to leave the strongest tribe on the entire island? Nickole could pretty easily point out the direction that they ran to. It's a little bit unfortunate for Comet, but he's pretty much left his entire gates open, the whole pathway leading to the heart of his camp. So it wouldn't be too hard for her to track them down. In fact, Comet, maybe we should think about leaving some of those extra tufts of grass, just so we have some sort of border between the wilds and your home. You might as well come on over here instead so you can help your mate clear out the last of the grass around the tree. This is a little bit more important right now anyways. So go ahead and clear out the grasses behind. That way everybody should be able to reach all of those delicious acorns. Okay. A big lunch indeed. Look at all these bunnies. Oh my gosh, is that another sign from Takir maybe? I mean, if they're trying to get to anybody, I would imagine it's probably Mars and Jericho. We already know that Takir ships them quite a bit. But it could also be a sign that maybe Comet and Celestite are meant to have one more baby together. And we actually have just one more day to breed Comet too. So maybe on the next turn we'll see if we can breed Celestite one more time. She has 12 days remaining on her lifespan, so she could definitely have the baby. And hopefully raise them to be another one of their guardians against death, too. Clownfish is probably getting very, very antsy with all these bunnies hopping around. We actually figured that he probably has some strange connection to the wildlife, too. I mean, I suppose they could always be trying to get to him if that's the case, trying to whisper some secrets in his ear. But he's going to have to escape the watchful eye of Sheba before he gets to know what they want to say. Now, it looks like nobody's had any trouble with leeches, so hopefully that means it's okay for us to cross. I'm starting to think that maybe Awkward and Morganite are going to wait one more day, though. We kind of want to make sure that Morganite is set up right at the edge of the water. She definitely can't get a leech caught on her. That would mean instant death for at least one of our tribe mates. So we have to figure out our strategy fast. Let's have Addie and Aqua clear the way first. We'll bring Aqua right up here, and then hopefully Addie can scoot around her. Right up to the shore again. I guess that means that they're going to be lighting up this half of the water, and the rest is going to have to be up to Awkward. But first, as these two lovebirds have clearly developed feelings for each other, I feel like it's only right for us to consider starting a family between them too. I would have loved to have Morganite have her baby over on the island, since this was Awkward's old home. But I think we're going to have to breed them now if we want that to happen truly. So Morganite, let's bring you over here. We'll have you use your turns to breed with him, hopefully. She has a 2 in fertility. Oh my gosh. And Awkward only has a 1. Yeah, there are quite a few things that could go wrong with this baby, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, just the fact that they both have those no paws is a very, very big risk. We could end up with another baby just like Adeline, who has 2 no paws to their name. But there's a lot of good things about them too. Like those antennas for one. And I still want to see if we can maybe keep the bat wings too. So fingers crossed everything is going to work out for us. Let's bring Awkward straight down to the shore. We'll have Morganite follow very, very close in his shadow, probably clinging to that wing of his. And we'll see if we can get them to cross on the next turn. So that just leaves you, Longshot. You two hopefully collect a few more acorns, but also to do some more exploring. He was really hoping that he was going to find Awkward's family here. He's probably very, very disappointed that he hasn't heard any rustling in the grasses. It seems like he's going to have some pretty sad news to share with his adoptive brother, unless maybe anything is still hiding in the grass we haven't explored yet, so we'll see what Longshot discovers in the next turn too. For now, let's go ahead and skip the day. It looks like Acadian has actually pinned down another bunny over here, so let's cross our fingers that our friendly Bergina is going to notice. Still no sign of him? Oh, there he is. Yes, it seems like that fresh meat may have actually pulled him out from the grass. Alright, so thank goodness you haven't lost him after all. I guess that means you could go ahead and collect this bunny meat. And I suppose you could take that bunny down too, but I think you're actually going to leave it to your friendly Bergina. Right now, I would like you to get just a little bit closer to the safe haven. Look at that, the bunny's even led you straight over to a brand new stump. So now you can really get a lay of the land, see if anything important is around here. If this is going to be your new home, like your own special base, I wonder if this would be a good time for you to use the stump to sing your own song. This probably is something that Acadian remembers quite fondly of his father. He didn't know Comet very well, but he does remember hearing that song of protection from the stumps. So as a way to lay claim to this land, I think that's what we'll have him do on the next turn. And hopefully that loud noise will even lure the Bergina closer too. It'll be hard to lose track of Acadian while he's singing. Now, let's have Nickole pull her baby over to the Termite Hill for some training. If we have Nickole jump over here, we could have her baby skitter up next to her. We'll probably want to be extra careful though. Wasn't this about where Mars caught that leech before? Yeah, Nickole, maybe you actually want to jump over this way instead. Oh my gosh, that wasn't you, right? No leashes on you? Oh, that must be somebody over here then. Oh, Addie, you are so lucky that we haven't moved anybody yet. Yeah, this is why we probably want to move them last. I mean, I guess it's kind of like a blessing in disguise. If Addie is going to be our resident leech magnet, then at least that means that's one less leech in the sea for Morganite to find. So Nickole, let's go back to you. As we use this Termite Hill as your own training station, you're going to see if your baby can crack it open. Poor Pernille is only a few days old. Only 1 gem to her name, and yet her mother is already putting it to work. But that was how she raised Alara too. That's kind of just how Nickole is. No slacking off, even if you just have 1 gem. Now it looks like Alara should be able to jump on this bunny over here. I know her reckless ways would certainly get the best of her, regardless of being so dangerously close to the water right now. Of course she would go after the bunny. She feels no fear toward the water. She probably doesn't even realize what sort of monsters lurk within it. So we'll keep an eye on her too. As she rests tonight, victorious finally and happy to bring back her big bunny meat collection to her parents. I wonder if she's going to find herself in danger pretty soon. Now, as Nickole is busy with her baby, I wonder if maybe Stone would use this moment to sneak away. He would probably say that he's just going to search for some roots to bring back, but I think he's actually going to be on the trail of Mars. He wants to know exactly what's going on here, and he's not really sure if he can trust Nickole's judgment anymore. He just has a really hard time believing that Mars would abandon them completely. He thought that their bond was too strong. And as Stone is one of the only creatures on this entire island that Nickole still trusts with all her heart, she would have no reason to question why he's lurking on the outskirts like this. No reason to wonder if maybe his root collecting duty has some ulterior motive. He still... Oh, our peaceful bear. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot about you. You've been here all this time, buddy? Just watching from the tide pools? That's a little bit ominous, actually. I wonder if there are actually leeches lurking around here, and he's trying his hardest to defend Alara from them. Even without her knowing, she is completely oblivious to his protection right now. Well, hopefully he's going to be successful. Let's go ahead and move the creatures over here too. Somebody's going to have to pack away that nest for sure. Maybe it can be Celeste on the next turn, since she'll have to use it again. Let's bring her over here so we can breed her one last time with Comet. We'll use his turns to grab all the rest of the bunny meat over here. As there's one more bunny for us to collect, Jericho, why don't you go ahead and do the honors? Show off right in front of your father so he can rest easy. There's no doubt in his mind that you've got this covered. We'll clear out the last few remaining grass tufts over here, clearing out the way so everybody can celebrate Comet's life, I guess. As his very final day on the island, it's awfully sweet that he's surrounded by so many of his family members. Aqua's still far off in the ocean, of course, searching for those clown koi. Acadian is who knows where, but at least he has Jericho, at least he has clownfish, and at least he has Sheba too. This is probably more than he ever expected he would receive. You know, the real Comet never actually had a family, did he? He never had children because he sacrificed himself first. So the fact that he was able to live out that dream on this island is pretty heartwarming. I think he had a pretty good time here, and I'm glad we got the chance to know him again. So as he returns to the place that all deities eventually go to, we know that he's going to be watching over every last safe haven on this island. Even Acadian's back here. Maybe this will actually help push him in the right direction. If Comet can guide his babies again, from the safety of the stars, then we know he'll never be alone. Now, last but not least, let's see if we can finally bring Morganite across the sea. Or maybe first, let's see if Longshot can discover anything over on this side of the island. I'm awfully curious. Okay, anything aside from the leeches, maybe? Let's bring you over to this side, just so you're a little bit further away. The leech is following you still. It looks like there is a berry bush over here, though. So, one measly little berry bush. I guess that's all that survived the storm. I wonder if his home used to be a little bit more built up than this, but since the storm came through, everything changed. In fact, we should probably think about consulting his predictions again. And one day the weather will be sunny, so that means the cycle is going to end here, and then he'll be able to sense the rain again. So we'll finish up this turn before we end the episode, but then I think we're going to leave the next cycle for the next episode instead, just so we can actually hopefully see the rain. I have noticed that our berry bushes are looking pretty sad right now, so a good rainfall from Vancouver would be very much appreciated. Alright, Awkward. Let's bring you down to the water's edge. You can't sense any leeches yet, so this might be the perfect time to start moving Morganite. Let's have her jump into the water first. Or maybe you. Yeah, let's have you jump in just to protect her. Oh, it's almost like the Crabbit is trying to watch her back. That's awfully sweet. You know, you two are pretty similar too. Morganite with her spikes in the back, and this Crabbit with his claws in the front. It's like the opposite in the way. You can't surprise Morganite from the back, but you can't surprise the Crabbit from the front. So maybe he feels some sort of like kindred connection. Well, let's bring you into the water, Morganite. We'll jump you over here first. I did see that leech moving away in the water. Oh my gosh, I wonder if he's actually sensed you. We better be quick about this. Let's actually move you right now, right up to Addie's feet, because I don't think that you're going to be able to go any further. Oh, and I missed that. We actually have a shallow here? Oh, that must be awfully tempting for you, Awkward. She did so love that seashell gift from before. I wonder if he wants to pick that one up to give it to her again. I mean, maybe we could have you skid around over here. It seems like Morganite is going to be okay anyways, So as long as the tides don't take the shell away, you'll have one extra gift to offer her. One gift for your baby, even. She has 5 more days remaining before she can have it. We'll probably end up tucking her away over here somewhere, since that'll be the furthest away from the ocean. That should allow her babies plenty of room to play, too, without worrying about the leeches getting to them. I wonder if they're all going to have the spiky body for that matter. What a terrible curse for those who dwell in the ocean. Well, it seems like the next episode is going to be a time of new beginnings. Kind of like the calm before the storm. We have plenty of creatures making homes in new places, like Acadian back here with his new safe haven. We have Comet passing away, but that paves the road for new creatures to rise up to leadership. I wonder if Jericho is actually going to take over for his father here. It seems very likely, since Clownfish is still so young, and we know that Jericho is very, very experienced. So Nickole might actually be leading an army to war against Jericho, which would be an awfully fitting twist. Jericho was the one who stole Mars in the first place, so of course she would want revenge. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!